So Chinese tariffs there have increased to 125%. I am going to share a couple different things today. First, let's get a general summary, and then we're going to deep dive, and then we're going to talk about the U.S. response to it. Again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. Let's talk about it.
I want to go to the White House now. Of course, this trade war with China shows no sign of ending yet. Senior political correspondent Rachel Scott tracking the latest at the White House. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. Yes, there is no sign that either country is backing down. In fact, China only striking back, announcing it will impose a 125% tariff on American goods.
Overnight, the trade war between the U.S. and China escalating as Beijing raises its tariffs on American goods to 125%, set to take effect tomorrow. Chinese President Xi Jinping saying there are no winners in a tariff war and warning going against the world will only result in self-isolation.
What he means by that, going against the world will only result in self-isolation. He's trying to appeal. Yesterday, Xi Jinping decided that instead of going directly to the United States of America to engage like the rest of the world is doing, right? He's trying to petition the rest of the world to go against America. And they are using everything in their toolbox, every single piece of influence that they can to try to talk to the rest of the world. So what they're doing is they're going to everybody around. China is doing what I'm about to do this year, this summer, on my I Choose You tour. They're not trying to engage with the United States of America. They're going around the United States of America to try to influence the people, to try to influence our other trading partners. And they're saying, hey, y'all, we got to stand together against the United States of America. We're going to take the hit. We're going to continue to impose tariffs. We're going to have tariffs imposed against us. We'll take the hit, but we want you guys to try to stand against the United States of America. Here's the problem with that. We have all the leverage because not only are we their biggest trading partner, we are the one that disproportionately consume. So the trade imbalance is so unfair to where it's at least a 4 or 5 to 1 ratio of the amount of goods and services that we consume versus what we export over into their country. And here's the biggest problem. It's not just trade. It's the way that the Chinese does business. They have regularly tried to throttle Apple. They have regularly tried to censor the majority of all of our companies that do business, because I'm not even just talking about goods and services. I'm talking about our technology companies. They won't let our technology companies have a foot inside of China because they are regularly trying to make sure that they input censorship. They are regularly trying to export and take all of the IP. They regularly are trying to require for these technology companies to do business with China first, with the government first, to subject themselves to the government first before they can do business with the people. And so what people don't understand is that this trade war is more than just the goods and services that are going in and out of the United States of America and into China. It is also based off of the very principles that they can come over here and put their companies over here and do what they want to do in other countries, but they cannot abide by the same rules because you can't sue them in court. You don't have to go through a Congress. You just have to subject yourself to whatever it is that they say and do whenever they want to say and do it, regardless of how much money and how many businesses that you've opened up over inside of China. It's more than that. So what they are trying to do and what their strategy is they're going to try to meet Trump tariff for tariff. And I have some videos that I'm going to show you guys to show you, because see, you don't get to see their people complaining because they have a lot of censorship. So some of the videos are now starting to leak out of the employees, the companies, the businesses, how their people are suffering, and how the Chinese people are starting to revolt against the Chinese government. You don't get to see that. All you see is women with pink hair running around in the streets, protesting against Elon Musk, everybody saying that they stand with China, and the people in China not even standing with China. The businesses in China is not even standing with the Chinese government, and they are starting to revolt. So while y'all over there sucking them up, keep on getting on your knees to try to take the whole thing from China, the people over in China is like, man, what the hell is we doing over here? Y'all, we suffering. But we're going to get there. We'll get there.
For and warning going against the world will only result in self-isolation. President Trump acknowledging the headwinds, calling it a transition cost.
There'll always be transition difficulty.
The market rebounded after the announcement of his 90-day pause, but that was short-lived. Much of the gains wiped out as investors sold off after the rally. As a new estimate from the Yale Budget Lab says the new tariff system will cost households an average of $4,700 annually. The president insisting it will be worth it.
Now, remember this. I want y'all to also take this into consideration. You don't have to continue to do the same things that you're doing. You can choose. I seen a guy, he wrote inside of one of my comments yesterday. He says, Anton doesn't know what he's talking about. It was a guy, I forgot what his name was. I highlighted his comment. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And he posted a comment, the same thing that he was saying in the chat. He posted it in the video. He said, Anton doesn't know what he's talking about because I even remember back when he was talking about inflation. He didn't have a clue of what inflation was. And all he did was take Fox News talking points and he regurgitated it to the people, and the people didn't even understand what he was saying. And I said, oh, really? Really? Are you mad because I don't support liberal policies, or are you actually telling the truth about what's going on? I'll give you an example about the inflation. Inflation is absolutely measured by the federal government based off of whatever it is happening, right? The price of eggs, groceries, all of that stuff. But inflation is also about how much money is being printed by the federal government, and basically that is directly tied to the national deficit, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different factors that goes into inflation, but inflation also can then personally go up or down depending on what your lifestyle is and your spending habits. 100%. Your lifestyle and your spending habits directly is impacted. Your finances and how you live your life and how you're impacted by whatever it is that's going on inside of the economy directly is tied to what you're paying individually as inflation. People that take public transportation, for example. I'll use a very basic example. People that take public transportation are not impacted as the ones that have multiple different cars and they have to go and buy gas and then take care of those vehicles, and also they finance, right? And the interest rates that's going on with financing cars. Our lifestyles are directly tied to what we're paying, and some people are not impacted in the same way as others. If you are a person that needs to shop at big box stores and you continue to order Fashion Nova and Temu products, and you continue to finance cars and you have high interest rates and you continue to live life based off of what's being marketed to you, then you are absolutely going to be impacted by what is going on as far as inflation within our economy. 100% you are. You can hedge against it by doing things differently. You can choose to shop and buy American. You can choose to not buy and finance and use Klarna for things that you don't need in order to impress people that don't even care about you. But that's a personal choice. And so I would suggest, shout out to you, ODV, I would suggest that we make different decisions in our lifestyle. This is an opportunity not only for us to capitalize on what's going on inside of the stock market and our cultural norms and all of that, but this is also an opportunity for people to change how they look at the way that they live their life, the products that they consume, the things that they put in their body, and whether or not they actually need to change their habits. Everything can be a blessing depending on how you look at it. Everything can be an opportunity depending on how you seize it. You don't have to buy a foreign vehicle. Automakers are forced to put on the front of whatever that sticker is on their car to tell you how many of your parts are made inside of the United States of America, how many are made in Mexico, how many are made in Canada, how many are coming from outside of the United States of America. Because we choose not to actually read, then we're making an uninformed decision. Guess what? They actually have calls every quarter from every company that is publicly traded, and they tell you exactly what their business conditions is and how they're being impacted by and how they're going to make adjustments so that they can return shareholder value. You are ignorant because you choose to be. You don't buy American because you choose not to buy American. You continue to support other countries that feed into this whole narrative and is against the United States of America as our adversaries because you choose to. You are voluntarily ignorant. You don't have to be. All you have to do is pick up a book, learn how to read, and then look at the information that is being provided to you. We are in an information age. It should not be that difficult for you. Should not be that difficult for you. You don't have to buckle up. All you got to do is make adjustments.
Again, there'll be a transition cost and transition problems, but in the end, it's going to be.
I'll do you one better,
It's
Miss
going to be a beautiful
Cote.
thing.
With a staggering
I'll do you one better, Miss Cote said. You said what gets me is they act as though we don't have engineers and the equipment to make our own parts. I'll do you one better. Most of the technology that they have, they stole it from us. I was looking at the CEO of Uber, and he was talking about how we would spend all of our time and our energy on research and development to roll out new features. Let me see if I can find that. Give me a second. Uber CEO, China. Yeah, here it is. I'm going to show it to you. This is what the Uber CEO was saying about how they steal our technology, they steal our research and development. They go and steal everything that we have, and we still are supporting them, even though they've been ruining American culture and everything for the longest. This is him.
There's no way I could express the frenetic intensity of copying that they would do on everything that we would roll out in China. And it was so epically intense that I basically had a massive amount of respect for their ability to copy what we did. I just couldn't believe it. We would do real hard work. We'd dial it and it would be epic and it would be awesome. We'd roll it out. And then like 2 weeks later, boom, they've got it. A week later, boom, they've got it.
All they do is take everything that we innovate on and they copy it. They're not smarter than us. They don't innovate over us. They're not better than us. The only thing that they do is they wait for us to do it. They go and steal our code. They go and steal our source code. When it came to the semiconductor chips, the thing that was really big when it came to ASML and different things was that it was people that was defecting from these companies and stealing their secrets and then taking it over to China. So they would go and infiltrate other companies, take it over to China so that they can copy it and try to roll it out themselves. The only thing that they've been doing is been rolling it out to the rest of the world. They've been stealing from the world and then reselling it back to them at a discount. That's it. They've been using cheap labor to steal it from the rest of the world and then resell it back to us at a discount, and y'all still stand with them, right? Is that what y'all do? I can't stand when people go on the street and they buy fake bags. I hate fake. I hate fake products. I hate fake watches. I hate fake bags. I hate when y'all selling them on the street from China. I hate it because if you can't afford it, that don't mean that you go and steal it and copy it and then mess up somebody else's bag. You don't steal somebody else's design. You don't go and duplicate it and sell it at a discount. That ain't what you do. You go and buy what you can afford or you just don't get it at all. I hate it with a passion. People stealing other people's stuff and then reselling it at a discount. I hate boosters. I hated boosters when I was young. I hated it. It was absolutely the most disgusting thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. Seriously, why would you go and steal somebody else's stuff and then resell it? I don't like the way that. Then if you don't like them so much, then why are you wearing their logos? Why are you trying to wear something that you hate so much just because you can get it at a discount so you can impress people and try to pass it off as real? Go and get the thing that you can afford that's cheaper and don't try to rock out with the thing that you say that you hate.
During 145% tariff on Chinese goods, economists warn things could go from bad to worse if a deal isn't made. Take the iPhone 16 Pro Max, which currently has a retail price of $1,100.
I'm gonna share the CNN version of it also. I think that this will be a great one also. So this is a CNN's evaluation of what's going on with the tariffs
on U.S. goods today from 84% to 125%. And for the first time since this all started, we're actually hearing from the Chinese President Xi Jinping himself. Xi saying that his nation is, quote unquote, not afraid, and also warning, quote, there are no winners in a trade war, and going against the world will only lead to self-isolation. This after President Trump raised tariffs on Chinese goods even higher, 145% now, as we're all trying to keep track. The White House says they're waiting for China to pick up the phone. China says,
hold on, wait a minute. Let me look at this really quickly. Peaceful Patron says you talk so big. I don't really understand. Is that peaceful Patron or peaceful patron? Says you talk so big. What does that mean exactly? Explain it to me. I would like to get additional context before I go in. I don't want to just assume. But let's continue.
Says essentially the same thing about the United States. This very clearly showing what a tit for tat looks like, sending markets tumbling Thursday. But President Trump still optimistic when meeting with his cabinet.
We think we're in very good shape. We think we're doing very well. Again, there'll be a transition cost and transition problems, but in the end, it's going to be a beautiful thing.
Stock futures are right now up
Is
across
that a
the
buy?
board. Let's see
Y'all
if
tell
they
me if
stay a
that is a
beautiful thing
buy.
today. But what is concerning investors a lot right at the moment, the U.S. dollar falling to its weakest level against the euro in 3 years. CNN's Elena Treen at the White House for us once again. CNN's Mark Stewart, we're not letting him go. He's in Beijing for us. Mark, tell us more about China's counterpunch and what it's going to mean.
Hi, Kate. Good morning. Look, none of this is a surprise. These latest tariffs are very much in the Chinese playbook. But what's very attention-getting to me is the fact that China is now saying it's not going to raise tariffs any higher, saying it has other weapons, almost making fun of the United States for raising the stakes, raising the numbers so high. Let me share with you some remarks we got late today from a government official here in Beijing who said that the United States is engaging in nothing more than a numbers game with no real economic significance, going on to say the United States is exposing itself as a participant in weaponizing tariffs, as a tool of bullying and coercion, turning itself into a joke. So that is the latest where China stands in this back and forth tit for tat. The other big headline of the day is that we are hearing from Chinese President Xi Jinping, really the first time since this whole trade war escalated to such a high level.
Ooh, pulling them out. Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out, bring them out. It's hard to yell with a barrel in your mouth. Swizzy. Bring them out. Yeah, see, now you know. Somebody that's not used to being public as far as their remarks on what it is that they're going to do is now starting to come out, and they're starting to talk to the media, talk to the press, put out information, want to try to explain to you how, listen, this is not going to work. You guys don't need to do this. It's so stupid. You're just making yourself look like fools in front of the world. What are you doing? Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out, bring them
The
out.
big headline is that he is saying China is not afraid. These are
He's
remarks
not
that were
afraid,
made
y'all.
with the Spanish prime minister here in Beijing. And according to state media, he said that China is going to continue to remain confident. It's going to remain focused, saying there are no real winners in a trade war. Kate, the language that we're hearing from Xi Jinping is very consistent with what we've heard from other government officials over the last few days. And as you mentioned, as far as the possibility of a phone call between Xi Jinping and President Trump, not in the near future. That's the messaging that we're feeling from Beijing, at least.
All right. So again, I don't think that our lives are going to be affected even a little bit. I haven't felt any pressure. Profits is up over here at the Millionaire Morning Show, and life is good. So we're going to continue to capitalize. We capitalized significantly over the last maybe week and a half with these U.S. tariffs and how that's impacted the market. I would suggest you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We took out profits. Remember, I told y'all just Wednesday night. What did I tell y'all to do? Take out profits and then go back to dollar cost average. Take out the profits and then go back to dollar cost average. And then, of course, we went over several different companies and then our business philosophy and what it is that we look for and when we invest and so on and so forth. So if y'all want to go and watch that, you're more than welcome to do so Obviously, we were right again. I was right again. And if you did not capitalize off of it, then you are absolutely, positively falling off a cliff and you're messing up your own bag. Again, make sure y'all guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.